Welcome to the launch week of Elevated Experience. I'm so happy you've joined us. We've got 4 days of myself and Claire Bosk talking about and introducing Elevated Experience, why we're doing what we're doing. And we're really proud to lead to Friday Live at 2:30 BST, where we'll be there to answer any questions and talk about this in an open format. And hopefully you can all come along for that journey. So, from my perspective, why are we launching Elevated Experience? I've had 30 years as a developer, a software developer, taking requirements from clients and developing some of the best software to fulfill those requirements. But then, you know, thinking about the employee and how the employee uses that system, and the customers and how the customers interact with some of that technology, and it's not the best experience. The point being that you can develop the best systems, but if the employees and the customers can't interact with those systems, what's the point? The best system in the world, if it's not designed for that interaction and how we utilize it, we're onto a losing battle. And I've looked at that over 30 years, developing my career and working in management and working on digital transformation projects to improve these things. If you do digital alone without the employee and the customer experience, then we've got a real problem. And we're here to remove the friction between those touch points and work on the whole solution. And removing friction means your business can grow efficiently and everyone's happy, employee retention, customer retention, and reducing the cost of that retention. We're here to solve that. I've got a story about this friction in our business and between those touch points from digital to customer to employee. Recently, in setting up the business, we had to deal with a number of organizations, right? Banks, government arm's length organizations. And there was one of them, quite an important part of setting up the business. We went online and they had a portal, and interacting with that portal to do what we were trying to do at the time didn't really work. It wasn't quite following the process, there were some nuances that we had to do and get hold of. So we decided to go in and see them because it just wasn't working for us. And we were met by this wonderful employee who took the time and said, yep, we'll see you now, took us into the room and sat us down, and then went through exactly the same process using the same systems that we could have used ourselves online. But again, they didn't work for her. So going through that process, I felt her getting really embarrassed that the system just wasn't working. She had to go away, she had to print some documents that we had to physically sign, and then she had to then take those away and scan them in. There was a part in the process between, I don't know, step 2, step 3, where she had to upload a blank PDF because as part of that, actually it was irrelevant to the conversation and what we were trying to do, but the system demanded that piece of paper. And apparently a blank PDF was just there to satisfy that need, but I wouldn't have known that as a customer. And over the course of, I think we were there an hour in total, she had probably 6, maybe 7 workarounds. And then the takeaway was that she had to go and follow up with those individual teams in person within her own business so that they understood the context of that application. So it just didn't work. The friction in that process was really hard for us as customers, for her as an employee, and for the organization. The cost of that will be phenomenal, 3-4 times what it should have been if we were just sat in our office at home and able to interact on a really simple basis. So that's why we're working with organizations to look at these touch points and remove that friction completely. How often do you realize the systems in your business aren't working for the employees? How often do you talk to your employees and your customers about where those frictions are and what the customers and the employees would like to see? Then we've got AI. AI is a subject that gets talked about all the time. And I'm not one to steer away from AI, but I am very cautious about what it can do if you're in an organization that has those friction points and the employees aren't using your existing technology to its best and the customers aren't interacting and it's not designed in such a way where you have flow. Then sticking AI on top of that is just going to make the car crash faster or have a meaningless experience faster. And employees continue to get frustrated because they're not trained properly, they don't know how to use those systems, they can't serve the customer properly, and the customer gets frustrated, and that cycle just exacerbates and gets bigger and bigger. So Elevated Experience is here to work with you and look at your business and interact with all the employees and all the customers and all the digital systems and build a roadmap that solves these problems once and for all. So we're here all week. Claire's going to be talking to you tomorrow about the customer experience. Again, 2:30 BST, all leading up to Friday, where we're live at 2:30, and I look forward to talking to you all then. It's great to see you.